Hi, welcome to my channel. As everybody knows that Jupiter is getting retrograde from 29th of July to 24th of November 2022. How it's going to affect everybody, because any benefic, natural benefic like Jupiter, Venus going retrograde causes havoc in the life because they become malefic. So let's see what will happen to every sun, moon and ascendant. For Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 12th house. Now, the person will go into his or her own little world and opt out of reality. So, this combination can be very bad because work won't be done, and specifically it's bad for the people whose work speak for themselves and they are not in limelight. Only work is in the limelight. And for writers, they might experience a writer's block, and for creative people, creative ideas will just shut off, and they might wear a psychological mask in public, but in the real life they'll be very lonely. And so esoteric subjects also, they'll try to go in the black magic or occult rather than the divine sciences when the Jupiter is retrograde. At this point of time, they should have a concrete idea of what to do and then work towards that. Otherwise, this condition will get worse. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 11th house. So, all the significations of 11th house and Jupiter in 11th house will go haywire. All the natural friendliness, natural exuberance, and high level of energy will just go off. They would like to be solitary in this position of Jupiter, and whatever humanitarian grounds they have been working on, they'll stop working on that. They'll be wary of new people. And especially when Jupiter is retrograde in 11th house, people are advised not to make new friends, not to start any venture, because Jupiter being retrograde gives bad effects over here. So no new venture should be started and no new friendship should be made, and all fundraising events which 11th house people are so fond of, they should be put on hold, because people will take you in a very negative manner that you are not raising fund for other people but to suit your purpose. For Gemini people, Jupiter is in the 10th house. Whenever Jupiter comes transiting in the 10th house from Lagna or Sun or Moon, it gives the promise of a job. If the person is already working, then it gives change of job or promotion in job and better job overall. But when Jupiter becomes retrograde during this period, then all the offers dry up. People find you not worth of giving their jobs to. But you'll have to wait till Jupiter becomes direct. Then only the new offers will come, or the old offers will become fructifying. But if any person in its natal chart has Jupiter retrograde, then it's a good sign for him or her that Jupiter is getting retrograde during this transit period. So all the old promises will be fulfilled. Whosoever has asked you for a job, new job, they will come to you again and give you the job you have already desired. For Cancerian people, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the ninth house, which otherwise Jupiter's transit at ninth house makes you go abroad, makes you go for religious meetings, makes you expand your horizons and expand your vision. But Jupiter going retrograde here, the priority will be now meantime. So if any young mother is there you should encourage her to have an hour or 2 hours for herself. Otherwise, the frustration will go up and it will be disastrous for the family life. Young mothers are especially prone for depression if Jupiter goes retrograde in the ninth house. And outlook towards life will change, it will become narrow, and the acquisition of knowledge, which had been the most priority level in the life, now you won't think of studying, you won't think of increasing your knowledge. Moreover, a sense of arrogance will come that your knowledge is enough for you, or rather more than enough for you, which can be very bad for the long run, because Jupiter will be retrograde for almost 4 5 months. So these 4 5 months, you should concentrate on doing work by hand, even if you don't want to acquire knowledge, bookish knowledge, but knowledge to work should be acquired in this period. For Leo persons, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 8th house. So the desire to control everybody will increase manyfold. And if Jupiter is badly placed in the natal chart, then all the knowledge about investments will go wrong in this period. They should in rather not invest in this period. New investment should be always prohibited in this period. And person will become over demanding during this period, and they won't consider anybody else's feelings, and needs of the partners are also ignored this one, and freedom is required by the person, and restraining others will become his priority. Here the Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 7th house, so all the 7th house significations will be going downhill, as Jupiter is 7th lord too. Expectations of the partner will be too high, and you won't be able to reach that expectations, meet that expectations. Mostly you'll fall behind in the promises you have made in the business life will be affected more, and you'll think that grass is always greener on the other side, and needs of the partners won't be understood by you, and your partner won't understand you. Most of the misunderstandings in the married couple happen when the 7th lord gets retrograde, specifically in the 7th house. So this is going to be the period of miscommunications and misunderstandings. For Libra Lagna or Libra people, you can say Sun or Moon sign Libra, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 6th house, which is the house of metabolism and house of digestion. Now, people will be more prone to gain weight, because Jupiter will make the metabolism sluggish, and it can give the need to eat more. And inaction is also given by retrograde Jupiter in the 6th house while it is transiting the 6th house. And intellectually also you'll become sluggish. It will become difficult to ace any exam, specifically any competitive exam. So be careful while Jupiter is getting retrograde in this house, that you don't eat more than necessary. Rather, you should limit your food intake, and exercise has to be done regularly while Jupiter is retrograde in the 6th house. For Scorpios, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the 5th house, which gives the extraordinary perception to gambling. If the person is already in gambling, he'll become compulsive gambler. Risk taking capacity is increased, where people lose the mind to do the right thing. And specifically, risk taking capacity for the children is also increased here. In conception, also certain hindrances will take place if somebody is trying to get a child now. So he'll have to go for a doctor's visit with the help of doctor, either IVF or something like that will have to happen. Then only they can conceive a child. Childbearing capacity will be decreased, and here the Jupiter getting retrograde gives the tendency to boast about their achievements and their capabilities. For Sagittarius people, Jupiter is getting retrograde in the fourth house. So childlike capacity to be mirthful, to be happy will go away, and strained relationship with the mother, that is also there. If you are trying to buy a property, all the options will be closed till Jupiter will remain retrograde, and this phase will bring out the intolerance towards reading, and the desire to learn more will go away, and person will become boastful of his learning, that he feels that he knows all and he's very intelligent, he can learn anything in a minute, and he tries to believe in that he's knows everything under the sun. Third house Jupiter retrograde for Capricorn people. So need to impose your opinions on others will be very great, and you'll shirk away from accepting intellectual challenges, and communication will be skewed, and sense of justice will go in the air. The person will turn biased, especially towards their own children and own family members. And Jupiter retrograde will make person restless. He won't go anywhere, but still he will feel suffocated in the house, and intellectual promise will be suffering during this period. Jupiter retrograde in second house for the Aquarian people. Now Jupiter will make you have the urge to make money, and even if it's made illegal, it won't bother you. And you'll take immense risks which won't fructify, and flurry of blind optimism will be there, and you'll be more inclined to have creature comforts, and you would try to make your home look beautiful now. And moreover, you will try to buy love by giving expensive presents, expensive gifts which you really can't afford at this time. To curb expenses, you should lock your ATM, and you should just throw away your ATM card or any credit card this time when Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter retrograde in the first house. This is to make you pessimistic, where you'll think negatively about everything. Enthusiasm will go out of the window, and you won't feel like working anywhere, and honesty will not be there. You'll be tempted to do dishonest work, and you'll be close-hearted. Affection and love, which generally flows out of you, will be blocked. So this is not a nice place for Jupiter to get retrograde at this point of time. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, kindly like, subscribe and share the video. Thank you very much.